Good afternoon, everybody. I don't know if I'm connected at the right place. I was having some internet connection issues, so I actually had to log off for a moment and then come back. So this is the Actor's Tools for Calming the Mind. My name is David Lozano, and I am the Executive Artistic Director of Academy of Theater. The scenario here is a little bit different because Frida, who's a company member with Academy of Theater, will be performing for the Dallas City Council soon, and at 1 o'clock. So we have the space set up for her. So I want to see if if you don't mind, go ahead and check in with me and just say you're here. I see somebody online, but just want to give people time to check in. So just if you don't mind, just make a comment and say hello. And if you'd like, no pressure, but just to allow there to be some communication. So so Facebook is still live and well, even though I'm giving an online class, messages on instant messenger. So hopefully that won't happen. Let me see if I can actually shut that off. We're going to take a minute for people to roll in. And like I said, if you don't mind, please just check in, say hello. Awesome. Hello, Dave. Thanks so much for being here. One thing that we're going to do today is we're going to make this a two-part series right now for this week. Today, I'm going to kind of go over the things that I went over in the first two classes a couple of weeks ago. And then on Thursday, we're going to take a step further and get on our feet like we do with the performers. And we'll go through the process of what it means to find your presence standing and then hopefully move your presence in space. We'll see. The objective here is, again, to use the actor's tools for calming the mind, connecting with the body, and acknowledging the emotions that are present within you, which allows us to have an authentic connection with ourselves and the present moment and with other people. And for me, this has been a really valuable experience. And these have been really valuable tools that I've been able to apply recently, especially during this challenging time of isolation and protection for our own health. So it's an opportunity for me to really connect with what are my inner resources, my sense of calm that I can tap into, the rich inner life that I can begin to experience when I acknowledge my emotions, and also begin to cultivate a clarity of mind. So I'm really happy to be able to share these tools that I've been also utilizing over the past really throughout my career, but I've really been able to access during this period where it's been important for me to center and calm my mind. So it looks like yes, I am on the regular Facebook feed. I just got a message from Matthew Rodriguez, the communications coordinator. So Matthew, if you can, I don't know if there's a way to communicate to the folks on the Facebook event page or even on the live link that we're going to be on the main page. That would be helpful. I had some internet issues, so I had to log out and then come back, and I set up a live feed on the main page. So if you don't mind, just check in with me and just say hello, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll just be able to give people a couple of minutes to come in. So, like I said, my name is David Lozano. I am the Executive Artistic Director of Academia Theater, and this is the Actors Tools for Calming the Mind. This is an opportunity for me to share some acting techniques for preparing myself and ensembles that I direct for rehearsals and performance. And it's a way of us beginning to slow down, connect with our bodies, acknowledge our emotions so that we can connect more authentically and more genuinely with our fellow performers and with the space that we're in and the audience. And this allows a very sane, intelligent, and a process for performance while also opening up the possibilities for improvisation. So it feels very sane and calming, but yet it opens up the possibilities for a lot of new impulses because we're actually thinning out the wall of inhibition when we go through this process. So the very first thing that we do when we begin preparation is that we'll begin by going around the circle of the ensemble. The ensemble will stand in a circle, and we'll just ask each other, what is your, to share what we call their bava. So not to be confused with baba in Spanish, but bava, which is Sanskrit for flavor, the flavor of the moment. So I'll share what I feel. I feel busy. I definitely feel busy. I've got a lot going on, which is a blessing, and I'm looking for ways to find composure and calm in this busyness. So, if you don't mind, maybe if someone wants to, you can share what your bava is, your flavor of the moment. Feel free to share how you feel so others can know what people in the group are feeling. And that's what the experience of working with an ensemble of actors, each of them sharing their bava, how they feel in this moment in time. And then it becomes the first opportunity to circulate energy among the ensemble so that we're already beginning to open up. So again, I invite you, if you'd like, to share how you feel in this moment. Then the next thing we'll do is when we truly start beginning the process. Good. We got a comment from Jeffrey Colangelo. I'm going to go ahead and share it, Jeffrey. A little overwhelmed, but happy to hear from you. Jeffrey's an ensemble member, and he's been through this process with me several times. A great artist himself. So the first thing that I'll ask the ensemble to do is to make the transition from where you came from to this present moment. So, for example, you may have been working with your child on their homework. You may have been watching the news. You may have been reading the news or on Facebook. You may have been in a Facebook war on someone's comments on a post. You may have been wrapping up a meeting, sales call. Who knows what it's, you're going through. You know what you've been going through. Allow yourself to release that. Let go of those thoughts, maybe an emotional fixation on what you are experiencing, a mental fixation. Just loosen the grip on those thoughts, on that engagement, and allow your attention to come to your body in this space at this moment. Part of the regular practice is taking periodic deep breaths. These periodic deep breaths allow us to inhale any tension we may be experiencing when we observe it. and exhaling it out and releasing it. So when I made the transition from what I was thinking and feeling before here, I brought my attention to my body in the present moment, and it made me aware. And immediately I was aware of tension in my chest. So I took a nice deep breath, inhaling the tension and exhaling it out. So I invite you to do that periodically. I will be doing that throughout this class. I caution you to take too many deep breaths because your heart rate could increase. When in fact, we're looking to slow down and actually find more calm. So the simple awareness allows us to acknowledge tensions in our body. And this is a listening, an act of listening that in a way is our first dialogue as a performer. And the dialogue is with ourselves. Good. So we're going to walk through 3 levels of awareness. And these are 3 levels of awareness that I learned from the director Alicia Martinez Alvarez from the Mask Laboratory in Mexico City. Level 1 of awareness is myself. So I'm going to ask each of you to allow yourselves to bring your attention to your body, seated. I'm going to take off my flip-flops and feel my bare feet on the floor. So I want you to observe your feet as they make contact with the floor. Just observe the soles of your feet, or the soles of your feet that are inside of a shoe or a sandal, or the soles of your feet that make contact with the floor. I want you to observe other parts of the body that are making contact with surfaces that are keeping you seated. Right now, my bottom is seated on a stool. I observe the areas of the part of my bottom that are keeping me seated. My torso is keeping me upright. Although the weight is going through my bottom, my torso naturally is upright. So I'm going to ask you to guide your attention down back to your feet, and to, in your mind's eye, visualize the skeleton of your feet. Then your ankles, your fibula, your knees, your femur, your pelvis, the skeleton, observing in your mind's eye the skeleton. From your pelvis, your butt bone, for lack of a better term, your spine. Observe your spine, vertebra by vertebra, and how each of these bones are stacked up one on top of the other. To your neck and your skull. So your skeleton is nice and easily seated. Observing from your feet through your legs to the pelvis and through the spine as the vertebrae are stacked one on top of the other. Your spine is nice and tall, not tense. So I'm not trying to sit upright like this. I'm allowing my spine to be nice and tall while exerting the least amount of tension necessary. Good. And that is what we're doing, and that's what we try to do as performers, is that it's the least amount of tension that necessary to accomplish what we need. Sometimes we engage and exert strength to create an image, to create a character. We don't want to exert more tension than necessary. Similarly, in life, we don't want to do that either. And it begins to allow us to release tensions and let emotions more naturally flow. Allows us to be more genuine with each other. So scan again your skeleton through your mind's eye, from your feet through your ankles, fibula, knees, femur, pelvis, your vertebrae stacked one on top of the other through your neck and skull. So you're nice and upright. I want you to consider your spine to be like a coat rack. Nice and tall like a coat rack. And I want you to visualize that your muscles fall like wet coats on this coat rack. But your spine is nicely stacked, and it holds these wet coats as they hang on this coat rack. So what I'm asking is, I want you to release your muscles as much as you can. Obviously, you are exerting just enough to allow yourself to be upright. So I'm going to ask you to observe in your mind's eye the muscles and the skin at the top of your crown of your head, releasing any tension there. Releasing any tension on your forehead, the back of your head, the sides of your head. Your eyebrows, releasing tension at your eyebrows, your eye sockets. Releasing tension on your sinuses. Your jaw, cheeks, your neck, your vocal cords. Releasing tension. If you identify any tension, you can take a nice breath, inhaling the tension, and then exhaling and releasing. Tension in your shoulders, below your collarbone, the upper back. Releasing tension so your muscles fall like wet coats on a coat rack, which is your spine. Nice and tall. Releasing tension in your chest, the region of your heart. Similarly, on the same level along your back. Your diaphragm, stomach, abdomen, lower back. Releasing tension down to your waist, so that your muscles are falling like wet coats on a coat rack, and the coat rack is your upright spine. Releasing tension in your muscles, in your pelvic region, your thighs, your knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Good. Allow yourself to take a nice deep breath, inhaling any tension and releasing it on the exhale. Now allow yourself to observe your emotions, whatever they may be. You don't need to correct them or even make a judgment about them. Just experience them and let them be. Sometimes that can be an emotional experience, moment that you realize what you've been living with, even maybe for the past 15 minutes. Another mentor of mine said, emotions are like liquid. They flow. They're not permanent. So we've acknowledged our skeleton. We've established the upright spine, exerting as little tension as necessary to maintain our uprightness. Our attention, our simple clarity of mind allows us to observe any unnecessary tensions, to breathe them in and breathe them out. So we've acknowledged the skeleton, the upright spine, the muscles that fall like wet coats on a coat rack. We scan through the body, releasing any tension that we can. We've acknowledged our emotions, whatever they are in this moment. Now I'm going to ask you to observe your breath, the natural cycle of your breath. I think sometimes we make our breathing compensate for exertion. And in fact, I think when we are performing, when we are practicing yoga, the breath, if it's liberated, adapts to the movement and to the necessity of the moment. So just observe your natural cycle of breath that happens without you controlling it. It may help to observe your breath like a Ferris wheel. Breathe in, reach the apnea, or the point that you no longer breathe in, and you exhale to the next apnea in which you no longer exhale. And just observe this natural cycle of breath. And if any thoughts begin to enter, just let them pass like clouds and bring your attention back to your breath. If necessary, you release your grip on the thought, let it go, and bring your attention back to the cycle of breath. So I would invite you on the days that we don't meet to allow yourself to sit and observe your cycle of breath. If any thoughts arrive, you let them pass like clouds, or you loosen your grip and you let them go and bring your attention back to your breath. This is a way to cultivate calmness, and clarity of mind, connection with the body, and presence with your emotions. It's meditation. Maybe you want to do it 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I would recommend taking the process of preparation in which we scanned from the skeleton of our feet all the way to the crown of our head, scanned our muscles for tension, checked in with our emotions, observed our breath, and allowed ourselves to be in this present moment, in this space, letting go of any thoughts of the past or thoughts of the future. Good. So the last thing that we will do is we share a bhava as we leave the practice. As we finish rehearsal, we will say, what's your bhava? What's the flavor of the moment? So I invite you to share your bhava. How do you feel on the comments of this video? I feel spacious and free and calm, grateful, heart full. My heart is full. So this is a free class that we will offer periodically. We're going to come back into this course on Thursday. And on Thursday, we're going to take it a step further. So I'm going to move more agilely, but without rushing, so we can still give attention to each step of the process. We're going to move a little bit further and go into what it means to take this practice to our feet, which is essentially what we do as actors and as an ensemble. Here, the objective is to share the essence of the techniques so that you can apply them in your own practice of finding calm and centering. So that's what we're going to do on Thursday. So this was a good first step. So when you join us on Thursday, we can move a little bit more forward into the actor's process. So I would like to also say that today is an opportunity for our community to contribute to the artists that work with Kadamiya Theater. Since the second week of March, our artists have lost months of work and thousands of dollars. And we've so far raised $23,000, and we've paid out and sent out checks of $20,000 to our artists who've lost work. And, it's important to put cash in their pockets so they have food on their table, they can pay the rent. And the next $15,000 that we raise is going to be towards funding an online summer camp led by our resident ensemble called the School of Yes. It's a free summer camp for young people, primarily in the Oak Cliff area. Funding was cut by the city of Dallas because of budget cuts. But since we've been successful with our fundraising campaign, we can take the funds that we raise over $20,000 and apply to this online summer camp. So we invite you to go to kadamiyatheater.org or go to North Texas Giving Day, which is today, and look up Kadamiya Theater and make a donation of any size. I would also like to let everyone know that we have 2 programs coming up, Stories That Heal, led by Stephanie Tovar, and A Light for Yourself and Others, led by the great Ernest McMillan. So please take a look at our website for Kadamiya Online. And we are still here. We are continuing to engage with our community. We are continuing to build our organization through this time. And we're ready to adapt. And we're ready to connect genuinely with our community, our family of supporters and artists, because this is a challenging time and one in which we're all walking together. So I'm looking forward to the adaptations and evolutions that will take place. And so I appreciate you staying engaged with us. Please tell anyone you know that may be interested in this course. We'll have another free class on Thursday. We'll probably take another week off and come back 2 weeks from now. So thank you so much. Please, again, leave some comments on the comment section of this video. Let us know how you feel about the program. Send us a message. Send me an email at david@academyoftheater.org. I promise I will respond to these comments. It's been a challenging period, but we're catching up with ourselves and slowing down through opportunities like this. But I do appreciate every single one of you for staying connected with Academy of Theater, and be on the lookout for future opportunities of connection. Thank you so much, and have a great Tuesday.